in hardness in the last few years. That's why we put a full water treatment system in from Lindsay Echo Water. Hi, friends. It's Scott Hennon. Do like Maria and I did. Put this in your home. It protects your faucets and fixtures, eliminates hardness residue from shower doors, absolutely saves time on cleaning. And the softening system, unlike others, removes chlorine, ammonia, and other harmful skin irritating gases. It's great for your hair and your skin. Call Lindsay Echo Water today, 218-233-8655. Online at lindsayEchoWater.com.
Community-focused, conservative-minded. This is AM 1100 and 92.3 FM, WZFG, Dilworth, Fargo, Moorhead, USA. It's 4 o'clock.
From the WDAY News Center, this is Ty Schoenert, and it's time for your Flag News Update. A suspect in a Fargo crime spree is being held on a $1 million bond. Michael Yusa is accused of attempted murder, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment. Police say he engaged in a 25-minute crime spree involving a hit-and-run crash that left a man in critical condition. Yusa is also accused of firing a weapon from the Southside apartment balcony and shooting at police. More active shooter training is coming to our area.
The Cass County Sheriff's Office, along with Kindred Public Schools, set to conduct active shooter and threat training tonight. The Sheriff's Office says Kindred residents may see increased law enforcement, fire, and EMS presence during the event, which takes place at the high school from 6 to 9 p.m. Sheriff's deputies will also be in Tower City Tuesday for similar training and exercises with the Maple Valley Public School District. I'm Kyle Cornell, WDAY News First.
A Morton County assistant prosecutor is on paid leave while other officials investigate an employee complaint. Gabrielle Goder was put on paid administrative leave June 27th after an employee filed a complaint earlier in the month. The nature of the complaint hasn't been released at this time. And the Minnesota Aurora Football Club is facing a bittersweet end to their season after falling short in the USL Women's League Championship game. The Aurora lost 1-2 in overtime over the weekend to the South Georgia Tormenta. The Aurora was undefeated entering the championship game and went into the second overtime tied 1-1 with the Tormenta. This is Ty Schoenert with The Flag and AM 1100theflag.com. First at the news when you need to know.
Find the perfect lighting solution with 11% off everything at Menards. Add recessed lighting to any room in your home with dimmable 6-inch ultra-thin wafer downlights from Juno. Their low-profile design fits in virtually any ceiling, and they can be installed in minutes with no recessed housing required. Juno downlights are 11% off at Menards. Good through July 31st. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Promoting chip production, I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden today met virtually with CEOs and labor union leaders to discuss the CHIPS Act. It's a proposal designed to increase U.S. production of semiconductor chips that are in electronics and vehicles.
How does this make a difference in how does it ensure our systems are going to stay at the leading edge? It's one thing to say there's uninterrupted access. We make it here and build it here in America.
Supporters are claiming more semiconductor chip manufacturing in the U.S. would address inflation. Opponents argue the bill is corporate welfare. President Biden's COVID-19 symptoms continue improving. According to his physician, nearly all symptoms have disappeared. West Virginia Democrat Senator Joe Manchin and Alaska Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski testing positive today and say they're experiencing mild symptoms. A group of congressional Republicans went to the border the same day. The Border Patrol said they estimate over 500,000 migrants crossed successfully into the country over the last fiscal year.
While Border Patrol says they've had more than 2 million encounters at the border since last October, they now say they know of 500,000 gotaways in that same time period. Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez led a group of House Republicans to the Rio Grande River and referenced drownings, including the death of a National Guard member, Bishop Evans, in late April.
What is it going to take for this administration to wake up and turn around and say your policies are broken?
Texas Congressman Jake Ellzey said what's happening represents asymmetrical warfare against the U.S. Louisiana Congresswoman Julia Letlow was near tears discussing the migrant babies who've drowned in the river.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Ghislaine Maxwell is in Florida to serve her 20-year federal prison sentence for helping financier Jeffrey Epstein sexually abuse underage girls. Maxwell was moved last week to FCI Tallahassee, a low-security federal prison in Florida's capital. America's listening to Fox News.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
From the very beginning, and every workday since, at every shift and every individual effort, we carry a common purpose, a common cause. It's a duty we proudly honor, knowing behind every product we build is your faith in us, dedicated to the craft of gun making, dedicated to your freedom, equality, security, and the promise of this great country. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. Learn more at smith-wesson.
We'll have partly cloudy conditions throughout this evening with wind out of the south-southwest 5 to 15. Clouds will be increasing as we head throughout tonight with a low of 65. Wind remains light, but we'll see a likely chance for some scattered showers and storms into early Tuesday morning, then a slight chance for a few scattered showers and thunder showers throughout the day of Tuesday with partly sunny conditions and a high near 78. We stay in the upper 70s on Wednesday, breezy with a slight chance for a pop-up shower. From the Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
Today's weather is brought to you by Summit Carbon Solutions. The ethanol industry is critical for the North Dakota economy and our farmers. Summit Carbon Solutions is opening new economic opportunities for ethanol producers and helping maintain a strong market for corn growers while generating millions of dollars in new property taxes to help local communities support our schools and hospitals. Visit summitcarbonsolutions.com to learn how this project is driving the future of agriculture in North Dakota.
Fast on a rough road, riding high through the mountains, climbing, twisting, turning further from my home.
Freedom.
Young, like a new moon rising, fierce through the rain and lightning, wandering out into this great unknown.
Let's enjoy some Kid Rock.
And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free.
Yeah! Please tell me.
Free. I was born free. Born free.
We got to enjoy that. A little Born Free here.
Like a river.
Kid Rock. All right, we can play it all show long, Spencer. We got to lower it a little bit here. And as we know, the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. We got some Kid Rock on there. We better do that some more, Spencer, just to kind of give us that Kid Rock flavor every now and then. We're going to talk about the Kid Rock situation that took place over the weekend in Minot, North Dakota. That's coming up in just a moment. I want to start this because later in the show, we've got a very special guest coming up. If I were to sit down with you right now in your car, your office, you and I are hanging out here, and I said, let me ask you, like, when you look at our great state of North Dakota over the next 12 months, what do you think are the biggest, like 2 or 3 biggest problems that we face as a state over the next 12 months? What are the two or three biggest problems we face as a state over the next 12 months? I've been doing a lot of just personal research, asking state leaders in all different arenas that exact question. And it's interesting. There is a very specific pattern that's coming up in their answer. So we're going to get to that later in the show. And check this out. Some fantastic breaking news that literally, by the way, it's just joining us in studio today, super producer Chris Larson. By the way, Jennifer Jean says, hey, I was at the Kid Rock concert. What a disaster. Yeah, we get a special guest coming in to talk about that. But Chris, welcome. It's great to have you in studio, my friend.
Hey, it's great to be here, Chris.
So breaking news is this. Remember when myself and a couple of people from the North Dakota Commerce Department went down to Miami to the biggest Bitcoin conference on the planet? That was in early April. We ended up meeting with Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. He is a big part owner in a company called BitZero. Well, we all know that Nakoma Pyramid up in like the northern part of the valley, right? It's been sitting there. It's like this Cold War era military installation. Just kind of been sitting there for a while. I don't know exactly what it's been doing. And the good news now, BitZero, it sounds like here, is going to buy the Nakoma Pyramid. They signed an agreement. 500 million big ones. $500 million for the Nakoma Pyramid. They're going to put it into a highly secure data center to be mining all different kinds of crypto and things of that nature. So, Chris, if you maybe want to go through that presser at some point, or I will, and we'll have more information, but it literally just came across Chris and I's desk. So we'll get to that maybe later in the show. All right, special guest joining us on the phone right now, Kevin from the Need to Know Morning Show, Kevin Flynn. Kevin, great. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you, my friend.
Hey, brother. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic with a little Kid Rock, Born Free. You were crushing it this morning on the Need to Know Morning Show in regards to what happened here. You've had so much experience being around artists and being on the road with a big-time artist name. And so people obviously very upset about what happened in Minot. The show was canceled, and they're saying because of weather, but then the people that were there like, hey, the weather was fine. I don't understand. And then you shed some pretty interesting light on the situation. So what say you about what you think happened?
Well, a lot of things it seemed and we had talked to a bunch of people this morning on What's on Your Mind too that were there and heard a lot of it. So it seemed like it was just a combo of bad things. Most importantly is that the fair folks weren't communicating with the crowd, and there was a lot of things that went into it. I can tell you I'm just guessing that I don't know Kid Rock, never been on tour with him, but kind of an acquaintance of mine is been a backup singer for him. Shannon Kirkland is from Fargo, and we got to see her when he was at WeFest years ago. But you got to understand, Kid Rock is a global brand. He's not just one guy. He happens to be the guy, yeah. But when it comes to what he does and how where he plays and when he plays, it's not just up to him. He can say, yeah, I want to do it, but then if his insurance and his rider and his contract and all the other things that put him on stage at any given event, the minute he does that and he goes against, let's say, his rider, which says if there's a thunderstorm within so many miles, within so much time of showtime, he can do this, he can do all kinds of things. I know he didn't fly his jet there and set up all that gear to not play. I'm sure they wanted to play. But there's more to it than just, the weather wasn't that bad. We didn't think it was that bad, or, this or that. But, so his decision is more than just him saying he'd do it or not. I guess he wanted to play, they said, but, again, it's more than just him. But the minute they had the video I saw, they were unplugging mics pretty quick. And once that starts happening, once it's done, it's called, it's done. And he didn't tweet till like 5 to midnight that he, it sucked that he had to cancel it. But I mean, to say that, I think a lot of things went into it. I think the crowd would have been a lot better behaved if the fair had been out there early and often saying, guys, we just can't do it. We're just not allowed, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone's getting their money back, whatever. Let's all head to the beer garden and have fun. But that didn't happen.
And the rider is where he says, hey, I only want purple M&Ms, right? That's what the rider is?
Yeah. Well, anything that they, his insurance rider is a different thing than his contract. Yeah, or doesn't no brown M&Ms type thing. You know why David Lee Roth did that with Van Halen?
Why?
David Lee Roth said no brown M&Ms in my M&Ms because that he knew that if the promoter would eliminate all the M&Ms out of the brown mixed bag of M&Ms, that all the other things on the rider would be done correctly. That was their whole thing about no brown M&Ms, was that if he knew that if the promoter went through all the work, get rid of all the brown M&Ms, that everything else on the rider would be done right. But when it comes to insurance, I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars of equipment. You're talking about millions of dollars in that guy and then the tour dates he has. And they just don't. And with those stages, those temporary truss stages that are tarped with those, those huge canopies, they become big kites in a big wind, and they just don't take, and there's been a few bad incidents. Remember about 10 years ago, they had one up in Canada that spun around and killed 2 people and crushed a bunch of equipment from a friend of mine named Gary Allen, who's a country artist. And they've had those happen before. They don't take any chances with that. They're real bullets, really gun shy on all of that. They just, they always err way on the side of caution.
And I think you need to. I mean, there was a tornado warning, I think, at some point in the area, in the community. Now, I know that was way before he was supposed to take the stage. I think many people are going, well, hey, was it Knight Rider or somebody that was playing beforehand? Why were they playing? And then Kid Rock couldn't. And the other thing is, I know that on Facebook, initially the Ward County Sheriff's Department put it, hey, the sheriff simply announced the cancellation. We did not cancel the show. Then later a statement came out that said, hey, the cancellation was because of the State Fair, Kid Rock, the Ward County Sheriff's Group. I mean, I think that's where people are like, wait a second, a little bit of discrepancy here, right?
Yep, that's true. Sheriff couldn't tell Kid Rock to play a show or not play a show. If he's booked to play a show, I mean, unless there's an impending tornado warning and there's a I mean, it's really, really bad. The sheriff's not going to tell Kid Rock he can't play the show. Who's going to tell Kid Rock he can't play the show is his insurance policy and his liability. That's all. And if he can't, again, he may have in his insurance from whatever his tour, whoever insures him, that if there's a tornado warning within 100 miles or 50 miles of your date within this much amount of time, et cetera, those are just the rules. And at that point, he just can't play. Because if he says, all right, we're going to play anyway, and something, God forbid, does happen, then he is liable for it because he made the call. And you know how we're in the age of liability. He just can't do that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got a buddy of mine that owns stores, and someone trips and falls, and they owe $40,000 to that person, and they can't even really prove anything. So from that perspective, I get it. So if you've got an issue, call Geico. 15 minutes or less, they'll take care of it, right?
There you go.
Super producer Chris Larson's in studio. He wanted to comment on the Kid Rock situation as well.
Well, I was looking at the North Dakota State Fair. They put out a statement late that evening that basically said, due to the high safety concerns of the high winds, lightning, and severe weather in the area, the concert had to be canceled. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to err on the side of safety. So, I mean, however this happened, I mean, I see a lot of people.
I think you do, but we got a case of beers in you. You're not really thinking about. You're not really
That's
thinking
exactly
Well,
right. That's exactly.
Hey, two guys, they were, they said the Night Ranger played through some lightning and there was some stuff closer to when they were playing, et cetera, et cetera. Their Night Ranger is not Kid Rock. Okay. I mean, Night Ranger can probably play that and make that call just like a house band could say, we're going to play in the beer garden, even if it's snowing or storming. I mean, but you know what I mean? But again, Kid Rock is so much bigger than just the guy. His brand and the staff, I bet he's got 40 people on tour with him. I mean, there's families and incomes and things that they just don't take chances. They want all things at a 10 before they're on the stage.
So Kevin,
and it just wasn't the night they had it.
Sorry about that. Kevin Flynn joining us from the Need to Know Morning Show. He's been in this world for many, many years, a long, long time, around a lot of great artists. Somebody texted me earlier today and said, hey, I think I'm going to share this with you, and then you poke holes in it. He goes, I think it's on his management. Fair Board is saying joint decisions to save face with the promoters. Fire marshal, I've heard, is behind it, but why would a fire marshal issue it at 10:30 p.m., not 8 p.m. when the opening act played? Kid Rock's plane landed in Minot at 8:20, left at 11:10 p.m. Anything you want to say about the fire marshal plane in and out?
Well, fire marshal issue is the size of the crowd. And if they had too big of a crowd, then shame on them. It's one of those deals where, again, I don't think the fire marshal, they would have known their capacity. They would have known all those things. If there's a bad thing, and then again, you can't overload a venue. That's on the promoter and the fair then. But again, Kid Rock, if he's set up and his gear's ready to go and he's ready to play, they came to play the show. I'm just saying that they didn't spend all that money and go all that distance and not do it. They came to play the show. So whatever reason, be it the weather, which obviously was the weather, I mean, that's what they're saying. And I guarantee you that he's got a deal in his insurance that says if there's X amount of this bad weather here, there, wherever close by, like I said before, he just won't do it. They can't do it. So I'm sure they called it at some point. It wasn't the sheriff or the weather department or the fair or anything. It was the band. It was the management.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure there's probably even clauses within the insurance situation where that says, hey, if the weather's X, you still get paid. And they were like, you know what? I don't really want to chance it. Let's go. And I'll get paid.
And the band never wants to be the bad guy when they make that decision.
Right.
But, they always put it off on, hey, they told us we couldn't play. Yeah, right. Okay.
It's a little windy.
Sorry, that I don't buy,
all right,
the
Kevin.
Insurance rider maybe said you couldn't play, but the sheriff certainly didn't tell you couldn't play.
Yeah, and again, I mean, if there's a clause in there, and I'm not saying this with Kid Rock, but I mean, there's some artists where it's like, right, I still get cash. Okay, let's bounce. Let's get out of here. So,
they still get paid.
Yeah. Kevin Flynn, awesome job as always. Need to Know Morning Show. Check him out every weekday morning, bright and early. Thank you, sir.
See you guys.
Take care, buddy. Chris, I got 30 seconds. Anything else you want to add, my man?
No, it's an unfortunate situation, but good on the state fair for refunding everyone.
Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth. So yeah, they are going to refund everybody. I guess but the North Dakota State Fair website, they gave you the plans, what you need to do there to get your tickets reimbursed. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome to the show. We're talking about Kid Rock Show getting canceled up at the North Dakota State Fair in Minot. Also, Bit Zero signs an agreement to acquire the Nakoma Pyramid up in the northern part of the valley for $500 million. Wow. If you want to email into the show, very easy to do. studio@chrisbergshow.com. Again, studio@chrisbergshow.com. I want to say thank you very much to Red Wing Shoes for sponsoring the inbox. Check them out, redwingshoes.com. Again, that's redwingshoes.com. Stay with us, much more coming up.
Your farm and business depends on a reliable source for energy. PetroServe USA is the customer-owned co-op committed to being a stable source of fuel for your equipment and propane to dry your grain. We have the capacity to make sure you never run out of fuel and to keep prices stable. Dependability, competitive prices, and exemplary service. That's PetroServe USA, helping America fuel better.
PetroServe USA.
Call today.
Once your driveway or concrete is cracked, it's always cracked. Prevention is the key with Chuck's Sandjacking. It's less expensive to prevent cracking and do it right the first time. Sandjacking is fail-safe, and they don't leave until the cavities are full. Chuck is a retired Army engineer. He has the patent on sandjacking. He'll come and give you a free estimate, and once the work is done, it comes with a 1-year warranty. Chuck doesn't drill holes in your concrete. He fills the holes beneath it. Driveways, sidewalks, and foundations. Call Chuck Sandjacking, 235-8752. Until you've slept on My Pillow bed sheets, you have no idea what can await you for a good night's sleep. And now Percale bed sheets have the sale of the year. Percale, by the way, the perfect sheets for summer. You're going to love it. They have a tighter weave and a lower thread count, so they tend to be very lightweight and breathable. And cotton percale is also absorbent, wicks moisture from the skin. So percale sheets and pillowcases crisp at first, but then soften over time with every wash, striking a fine balance between smooth and scratchy. You're going to love these. And right now, all sizes are on sale. Here's an example. The queen size regular $89.98, now only $39.98. Just use the promo code SCOTT. Call 800-506-9028 or go to mypillow.com, promo code SCOTT for the sale of the year on Percale bed sheets from MyPillow.
Hi, everyone. This is Jake Dahl with OnSharp. Today, I'm here with Darren Galdi from Border States Paving. OnSharp did a website redesign for Border States Paving just recently. Are you happy with how the site turned out? And would you recommend OnSharp to other companies in need of a website redesign?
We are happy with the way the website turned out, and we would recommend OnSharp. Staff was attentive to our needs. The delivery of the product was on time and on budget, and we were very happy with the outcome.
If your business is in need of a website, app, or custom software solution, you can learn more about how OnSharp can help at onsharp.com/websites.
Having trouble finding quality auto coverage, good service, and opportunities to save on your premium? Your Nodak insurance agent has the perfect answer. You'll appreciate our exceptional service, along with our 10% discount just for deducting your monthly premium from your checking account. Service, convenience, and savings without sacrificing any protection. Go to nodakins.com, find your local agent, and they'll take care of the rest. After all, we're the agents with answers.
Thinking about tomorrow, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. Singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long.
We're going to have our own concert. We'll have our own Kid Rock concert here. By the end of the show, Chris Larson's going to be throwing stuff around the studio and just screaming and yelling and all kinds of fun stuff. So we need to figure out how we can get him in here. But yeah, he says he's already doing that. So welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio, helping you and America fuel better. As you know, and unless you're brand new, the theme of the show, the mission of the show is your daily dose of truth. There's very few places these days you can go in the media and actually get truth. So come here. We're going to give you your one-a-day vitamin of truth. And then we do that to set you free in really three different paradigms. One is financial freedom. Then you've got health freedom. Because look, you could have $1 gazillion, but if you don't have your health, you don't really have anything. So we want to talk about that. But also the freedom of your mind, the education piece, like what can really give you true sovereignty and liberty. And so one of the things we want to do is bring in our special guest today. He's the CEO of Reaper Financial, Patrick Riley. Always has great insight as to what's happening from a macroeconomic perspective and beyond, especially within the decentralized finance space. Patrick, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I always enjoy our conversations, man. So let's just start there. When we think about where things are at in the world, you sent me a great article over the weekend where you see now Russia and China and the BRICS countries talking about having a separate currency outside of the U.S. dollar. Why is sovereignty and freedom in the realm of finances so important at this time in history?
It's extremely important right now because how fragile the global economy is becoming. And I want to read you a article headline this morning from Bloomberg News. I know not everyone's a fan of Bloomberg, myself included, but I'm going to read this article headline real quick. Russia to cut Nord Stream gas flow in ominous sign for winter. And it's because of a turbine in the Nord Stream 1 that supplies about 36% of Germany's imports in natural gas. And they've cut it down to about 20% output. So we're in a situation in today's world where we've got things like a simple turbine, piece of equipment can completely upset a global superpower. It can completely upset the stability of the West. Now, I'm sure people are thinking of course, Russia is doing this because they want to compete with the global reserve currency, and they want to try to squeeze the West so they can get in Ukraine. And that's probably all true. But the reality is, if we were to peel all that back and just say that, what if someone does eat a bowl of soup and cause a global pandemic? What if a piece of equipment does fail and that takes out an entire pipeline that supplies a country, and that piece of equipment is just so specialized that it can cause a whole economy to collapse? And it made me think of way back in history, and now not that far back, but Archduke Franz Ferdinand and the assassination that caused World War I. It was just a singular event in a small country that you would think was not that relevant, but a massive impact that changed human history for the rest of time. So taking ownership of your personal finances, your cryptocurrency, is the most important thing that you can do to protect yourself economically moving forward in a world that is just so uncertain. And I don't know anybody that would say they are simply comfortable with the way that the global economy is moving.
Patrick, we're getting a little bit of feedback from you, but I want you to just to share with people. Again, Patrick Riley, he's the CEO of Reaper Financial. You can find out more at thereaper.io. Again, thereaper.io. We're in a crypto winter right now. I mean, all the markets are down. I want you to share with people, in your point of view, why crypto provides more sovereignty, more liberty, and even more certainty in this fragile world.
Yep. I want you to think about it this way. If you were to be in a situation where we had a food shortage, and let's say the bank is a lot like a grocery store. There's food there. You can go there. You can get food. You can bring it home. But if that food shortage comes, everyone's going to that grocery store. They're going to buy everything off the shelves like they did with COVID-19. And you may or may not get what's in the grocery store. And that's actually how banks work as well. So what you do when you start a DeFi wallet and you're in possession of your own cryptocurrency is basically the same as starting your own victory garden or your own greenhouse where you're growing your own food in your backyard. So now you are no longer dependent on the outside world to take care of yourself. And that personal responsibility, that anti-collectivism, is going to take you much farther in life than trying to rely and just hope that everyone else in the world is going to do the right thing and everything will go right. And historically, something always goes wrong. So it's just best to be prepared, not, in a extremist kind of way, but just in it's a safety mechanism to have that cryptocurrency and to have it in your possession on your own wallet.
So I want to let that just sit for a minute with people to understand what Patrick is saying. The fact that now you've got these cryptocurrencies, they're on your personal wallet. Essentially, you become your own bank. Extremely, extremely empowering, extremely powerful from a standpoint of liberty and sovereignty. I guess where I would challenge you, Patrick, that I want you to share with people is like, okay, I've got this cryptocurrency in my own wallet, makes me my own bank, but if I can't get access to power or other people want that currency, it doesn't really do me any good. What say you?
So I would say if it's on a wallet that's accessed by a phone, and let's say it's you and me, Chris, and the power is down for the country, but you and I can both charge our phones with something as simple as a alternator out of a car or a wind-up battery or a windmill, something small. It doesn't take very much. And we charge that up, and I say, hey, Chris, I see you've got a working motor for your tractor, and I really could use that as a generator for my house. I've got this amount of cryptocurrency, and it'd be XRP, and it's in my own wallet. And I'll say, Chris, once things get back up and running, I'm pretty sure you'd get from this more than I will, but I'll give you 10,000 XRP right now for that motor out of your tractor. And that's, it's not necessarily a barter system. There's still a currency involved.
And what I want people to appreciate is that this is peer-to-peer. And one thing, Patrick, maybe you want to speak to this. We've got a couple minutes left, and I want to give you a chance to help people understand that they can reach out to you. But when you look at the opportunity that's available in peer-to-peer financing, and I say this in the context that right now the second biggest industry in Mexico is the remuneration of the finances that are coming back across the border. It is a huge, huge industry. And the people that are making a lot of the money are Western Bank or Western Union, Western Union, places like that, where now, if you can understand this decentralized finance piece, you can eliminate a lot of those fees and get more money in people's pockets. Is that a fair assessment, Patrick?
Yeah, absolutely. And, even with the more expensive cryptocurrencies like Ethereum or Bitcoin, you can send literally millions or billions of dollars for dollars or pennies. I've seen transactions as high as 145 million in Litecoin go for as little as 45 cents to transact across borders. And with XRP and Reaper token, those fees are actually less than a penny for any amount.
Patrick, I've got about 45 seconds left. I want to give you a chance if people want to reach out to you and just sit down and visit more about, decentralized finance, your Reaper token. How do they do that?
Best way to find us is on the Reaper.io. We're on Twitter and Instagram, Discord, and Facebook. So we love to interact directly with the community. We love to answer questions. So we've got a great community that's very excited about what we're doing and what we're developing for the future. And we'd love to have you.
Again, you can email Patrick as well, Patrick, Patrick, at thereaper.io. That's TheReaper.io. Patrick at thereaper.io. Patrick, always appreciate the insight. Sovereignty, liberty, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. That is the theme here at the show. So we appreciate everything you're doing, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Take care. I started the show by asking you a question. I said, what do you think are the 2 or 3 biggest challenges, problems our state faces over the next 12 months? Well, today there was a special guest speaker here in Fargo. He's up at NDSU talking exactly about how do we solve this problem. That special guest is going to join us right after this. Also, want to remind you that if you're someone right now who you don't feel like yourself, maybe you're not sleeping great, maybe you're dealing with anxiety or depression, please do yourself a favor and go check out Siriset of Fargo. Again, that's Siriset of Fargo. The nice thing is it's a free consultation. You basically take a nap for an hour. It's free. The number there, 701-566-5231. Again, 701-566-5231.
We'll have partly cloudy conditions throughout this evening with wind out of the south-southwest 5 to 15. Clouds will be increasing as we head throughout tonight with a low of 65. Wind remains light, but we'll see a likely chance for some scattered showers and storms into early Tuesday morning, then a slight chance for a few scattered showers and thunder showers throughout the day of Tuesday with partly sunny conditions and a high near 78. We stay in the upper 70s on Wednesday, breezy with a slight chance for a pop-up shower. From the Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
Steve's Heating welcomes you to enjoy the family fun and events of Summerfest July 28th through the 31st in Castleton. Steve's Heating is your local Carrier product dealer, proudly serving the area since 1983. Have fun from your friends Steve and Craig at Steve's Heating in Castleton.
Need an escape? No, not a vacation. An escape from your basement. Here at Precision Concrete Cutters, we specialize in egress window installation and replacement. So not only do we provide you an escape from your basement, but we provide sunlight into that dark, dreary space to make you feel like you're on vacation. Okay, maybe not, but you will relax knowing that you do have a safe way out.
For more information on egress windows, go to pccnd.com. That's pccnd.com.
You might remember a few things from years gone by. The TV shows we watched.
Everybody knows your name.
The video games we used to play. And remember when this meant you could get on the internet? Just like these sounds bring you back, our work, 50 years strong, carries tradition and nostalgia too. The best in office equipment and software, advanced business methods, employee-owned, locally serviced, keeping your money right here in the community. Online at abmnow.com.
Ready to launch your small business? Or take your farm from some acres to a lot of acres? How about that big proposal?
Will you marry me?
Or that huge surprise? That forever dream home. The one you can take anywhere. Wherever you are in life, be sure you're ready to say yes. First International Bank and Trust. Say yes to living first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Downtown is Fargo's all-in-one neighborhood, from early morning breakfast nooks to after-hours nightcaps and everything in between. Downtown Fargo is energy, arts, and culture. It's our community's town square and market square. This summer, we have brand new Downtown Fargo living spaces, fully equipped with smart home technology to make your life easier while you're home and when you can't wait to get back. Treat yourself to a new nest. Visit livedowntownfargo.com and join us for a tour.
The tradition started in 1908 for H.A. Thompson & Sons. Harry Abbott Thompson, he was the namesake. He had a son, Harry, and he had a son, Mark. Mark and his wife, Claudia, are now the owners of H.A. Thompson & Sons, operated every day with their daughters as well, helping people save money. If you go to hatandsons.com, you'll find out more about the commercial service, the link service they provide that save you money. hatandsons.com. Since 1908, serving North Dakota and the entire upper Midwest.
Get more than just a great deal. Get the Luther Advantage. Every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 60-day, 2,500-mile warranty. Every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 5-day, 500-mile return policy. Use your Luther Advantage card and save on gas, or even a car wash at any Holiday Station store. Get the Luther Advantage at Luther Family Buick GMC, corner of I-29 and 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
The Springs Golf Course invites you to attend Ladies' Night on Wednesday nights. If you're a member, you can bring a friend. Enjoy great golfing, games on the course. Sign up for door prizes and cash prizes. All ages welcome. See you at the Springs Golf Course in Gwinner soon.
And the mainstream media, fuck you too.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. We're coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio. I started the show by letting you know that I've been just doing some personal research and asking a lot of state leaders, hey, as you look at our great state and then you look over the horizon for the next 12 months, what do you think are the biggest, 2 or 3 problems that we face as a state? And it is stunning. Every single one of them, at least one of the top 3 says, it's workforce, Chris. We have to solve this workforce challenge. Well, today, the Fargo Moore West Fargo Chamber, some other organizations brought a very special guest Up at NDSU, Ted Abernathy, he is the managing partner of economic leadership. He is an expert when it comes to solving this workforce challenge, and he just gave an outstanding presentation earlier today up at NDSU, and he joins us right now via the phone. Ted, welcome to North Dakota. It's great to have you back, and thank you for giving us some of your time today.
Thanks, Chris. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
So I had a chance to listen to more of your presentation as I was driving back to the studio. I wanted to hear the whole thing, and you really gave out some stunning stats. I'm curious since obviously everybody in town couldn't be at your talk today, what do you think is the most important thing people should know from your conversation today that couldn't be there?
Well, I think one of the things that I find is when I'm anywhere I go in America, and I get to be a lot of places, that people are pretty hard on themselves. They're pretty sure that they're just not doing enough. And the first takeaway is that your growth rate for labor here in the region is about 3 times the national average. It's almost 40% growth over the last 20 years. Your participation rate, that's the adults that are actually working, is 10 percentage points higher than the national average. And so you've been doing a lot of things right, but it hasn't solved the problem. And so while you get a lot of gold stars for all the work that's happened, there's so much opportunity here that we talked to over 100 business leaders, and every one of them told us they needed more people. It was the only way they were going to be able to grow, and they were ready to grow if they could find more people. So that's the first takeaway, is a lot of good work that has been done, but the challenge is still there.
So how do we solve that problem? Because one of the things that jumped out to me that you were talking about is, look, when you look at the Fargo-Moorhead Metro, for example, we've done a pretty good job here pulling people out of rural communities, out of North Dakota, Minnesota, but not such a good job recruiting people from maybe Omaha, Denver, Chicago, things of that nature. And what, again, I was driving in my car, but what I took away from what you were sharing was, hey guys, you just can't keep doing this for another 10 years and expect to solve the problem. So how do we improve the branding here within our community to start to pull more people south of our southern border here in North Dakota, South Dakota?
Yeah, so you're absolutely correct that almost all the major places that people have moved from into the metro have been from either Minnesota or North Dakota. A couple South Dakotans moved over the line too, but you aren't getting much further than that. And the negative there is that rural areas have been shrinking around the country, and so you've already brought that crop in. So now the question is, how do you get people from Minneapolis or Chicago or Denver or somewhere to move here? And the good news is that your overall set of statistics about the community are pretty good. You're safe. You're fairly affordable. You're right at the national average. So you're affordable compared to bigger cities. Your health care is very good. Your K-12 education is good. You've got higher education institutions that are well respected. So you're already selling something pretty good. The problem is nobody knows it. And the brand of the region is either non-existent or is whatever somebody has helped you, is named you as in some other way. And so there are only a few ways to grow workforce. You can attract people from somewhere else to move to your community. You can keep more people in your community, so more college students, people that would move out. You can bring in immigration. You can get more people off the sidelines. So as veterans transition or mothers who are currently reluctant because of daycare costs, you can get them back in. Or you can have more children and wait 18 years and see if that helps. But you're already one of the top places in the country for that. So we've got to find ways to attract more people, keep more of those students here, and get some people off the sidelines and back into the labor force that might have gone off, the work roles when we had the pandemic.
If you're just joining us, Ted Abernathy, he's a managing partner at Economic Leadership. He's in town today talking about how do we solve this workforce issue that just continues to sort of permeate so many different aspects of our economy and our lives. And we've been talking about that for quite some time here in our area. One of the things that jumped out, Ted, from your conversation today is you looked at cost of living. And at one point, it was pretty decent in our area. But you said, right now, if you look at cost of living in the Fargo-Moorhead Metro, it's not as tantalizing. Let's put it that way. And I think you talked about Sioux Falls and Cedar Falls. Like, a lot of people are going to look at it and go, hey, guys, I'm in a good community. I got a good gig. And if I move to Fargo, my cost of living actually goes up. And, oh, by the way, one piece of data I'm not sure if you've seen, but I would guess it was maybe 8 years ago or so, they also did a study on wages in our community, and wages for, engineers and some really astute careers were actually below the national average. So if the wages are below the national average and cost of, we're in trouble. How do you, what do we need to do to be better at that?
Yeah. So first, everybody's cost has gone up recently. I think I said that today that your housing costs are up 19% over the last 2 years, but in some hot markets, they're up 40, 50%. So it's all relative, but your overall cost of living now is a little over the national average and driven a lot by housing costs, daycare costs, things like that. Your wages, you do have both a lot of lower wage jobs in the area, but also exactly what you said, jobs that are in the exact same occupation pay a little bit lower. Those are market things. So the scary part is that East Coast, West Coast, right now with remote work, a lot of companies are looking out in the Midwest, the upper Midwest, and looking for those trained people. More money, they could work remotely, live here, but they're going to work for a company that's based in San Francisco or New York or Boston. And that's a new trend, sort of post-pandemic, that ought to give people here a little bit of pause. I would be worried about those issues. Wages always matter. People move when they think they're going to improve their quality of life and their work-life balance. So the quality of life is a lot of times about what you can afford in a community. And it's time to start paying attention to it and not selling it without researching. Just saying we're really affordable. We are. If someone's moving from San Diego, you're really affordable. But if someone's moving from Davenport, you're not. You're a little bit more expensive than they are.
When I was just talking to a friend of mine today that's in the tech world, he mentioned the same thing. Like, you've got a lot of coastal companies now looking internally, meaning inside the Midwest, to pay people. And because that's my question, how does a local company compete with a Facebook, a Google, these companies that can scale, have got a lot of cash flow, when maybe you don't if you're a smaller local company?
Yeah, I think most people, every now and then in life, you'll get bought by the large green stack in front of you. But most people understand that there's more about the quality of a job than just the salary. So being someone stuck out in the Midwest, and I like the Midwest, but if your boss is in Boston and you don't ever see them, the odds are that that's not going to be as good a job as you might want. Now, pure remote, a lot of people really like that these days. And our company has a lot of remote workers, but I think that we have to look at retention strategies at our companies. We need to rethink. We need to value our workers. In the end, the marketplace will determine those wages, but it's just a new threat that comes along. And use the strength that you have as a community. You have limited problems with traffic here. Your safety is good. Your health care is accessible. You're still selling a package overall, and it's okay to be worried about it because that makes you sharpen the pencil a little bit more. But overall, you're still in pretty good shape.
If you're just joining us, Ted Abernathy, managing partner at Economic Leadership, talking about solving the workforce issue that we face right here in our community. When he's going to stick around for another segment. A couple of things I want to touch on, Ted, is one. So if I'm a business owner, we have a lot of business owners that listen to this show. What are some things you think I should be looking at to help, entice some more people to come work for me? How do I solve this problem for myself personally? And then secondly, I want to visit with you about immigration. We've got this daycare challenge here, but also immigration. Estoy estudiando español ahora. So I'm wondering, could we have a superhighway from, the southern border up here into North Dakota? Some people scoff at me when I say that, but I think the values line up with what's going on here in North Dakota with a lot of Hispanics and Latinos. So I want to have that conversation with you when we come back. Also want to remind you, if you want to email into the show, very easy to do. It's studio@chrisbergshow.com. I want to say thank you again to Red Wing Shoes for sponsoring our studio email inbox. You can find out more at redwingshoes.com. Again, that is redwingshoes.com. Go say hi to Teresa right here on Main Avenue in Fargo.
Castleton Summerfest is here, and Central Sales, your family-owned farm equipment business since 1974. With 2 locations in Castleton and Jamestown, hope you have a great time during this year's Summerfest. Don't miss it.
Are you an active adult over 62 and tired of repairs and upkeep around your house? There's never been a better time to cash out of your house and move into a carefree lifestyle. That's because the Village Cooperative of Fargo is coming soon. Here, you'll enjoy hassle-free homeownership with no maintenance. Homes are selling quickly, so don't wait. Lock in your best price now before construction starts. Call us today at 701-997-2900 to learn more, or visit villagecooperative.com.
Guess who's coming to West Fargo? Hi, this is Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. Come visit us at our new location at 1224 13th Avenue East in front of Menards. Our growing team provides the quality, integrity, and service that you've come to expect, now with 3 Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo locations. Find us online at fixitforwardautocare.com. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Hey, it's Scott Hannon. Our family absolutely loves the full water treatment system we put in our home from Lindsay Echo Water. We live in a flood zone. We have the best ag land in the country. The river floods over, and on that land, the water recedes, and the trace elements of those herbicides go into our water, unless you have a full water treatment system like I do from Lindsay Echo Water Systems. Cooking is way better, too. Same with coffee. Go to lindsayEchoWater.com for details or call 218-233-8655, 218-233-8655.
Following session 1 of the 8-week Dale Carnegie course I attended, I reflected how this course would help me both personally and professionally. I almost instantly felt more confident introducing myself to others and presenting in front of people. The encouragement from our trainer quickly pulled me out of my comfort zone, which allowed my transformation to begin. Upon completion of the 8-week course I attended, I continue to implement many of the Dale Carnegie principles in my everyday life.
Menards has the automotive products you need to keep your car looking great. Turtle Wax Bug and Tar Remover removes bugs, tar, and tree sap from all automotive finishes. Just spray on and wipe off. A bottle of Bug and Tar Remover is just $3.99 after 11% rebate right now at Menards. Good through July 31st. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Cass County Mutual Insurance, a local company providing friendly service to all their policyholders, wants to welcome you to Summerfest, July 28th through the 31st. For all your farm, ranch, and home insurance needs, remember Cass County Mutual Insurance. Online at CassCountyMutual.com.
Father Time. Deep like the grandest canyon. Wild like an untamed stallion. If you can't see my heart, you must be blind.
Welcome back to the Chris Bird Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. A little Kid Rock concert today for those of you that maybe missed out up in the Minot area at the North Dakota State Fair. We're coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio, helping you and America fuel better. So as you are heading home from work today, please do yourself a favor. Stop into your local PetroServe USA, grab some gas and some delicious goodies. Like I've told you many times before, the best cookies on the planet. So stop into your local PetroServe USA, enjoy, and you can just go, thank you. Thank you, PetroServe USA. All right, earlier today up at NDSU, the Fargo-Moorhead West Fargo Chamber, some other local orgs are putting on a workforce solution conversation. Joining us now, Ted Abernathy is the managing partner over at Economic Leadership. And so, Ted, I'm sure you talked to a lot of business owners. They're pulling their hair out over this workforce challenge. Let's say I was a business owner and you and I are having this conversation. How would you coach me up to say, hey, Chris, this is what I would be focusing on in your business to make sure that you are recruiting and retaining the best talent possible?
Well, I think I'd start with beachheading what I already had. So one of the hottest new topics around the country is best practices around retention. How do you let people know that you appreciate them? How do you let them know what their long-term plans are? Are they going to move up in the company? What are their opportunities to get there? How do you show your appreciation to them so that they feel welcome? How do you make sure their managers are people they want to work for? So a lot of different things around retention. That's the first thing. The second is inside a community, you've got to be a place of choice for to work. We all can probably go into any community and say, what's a great place to work in here? And people will name a few companies, but being that company of choice becomes really important. It's also important to work with your local chamber of commerce, your economic development group, your visitor bureau, to package that recruitment visit when you're trying to get someone that might come here, never been here before. What do they do when they're in Moorhead or Fargo? What are you going to do with them? How are you going to get them here? And then how do you onboard them? How do you make sure their first 3 months here are as friendly, as receptive as possible, that they get to see the important things that are going on in the community? They get to find the best trail to walk on, the nice new taco stand to go, whatever it is that appeals to them. But all of those things have become part of HR now. HR directors, their managers are pulling their hair out. The HR directors feverishly trying to find the new things that appeal to today's worker.
You know, Ted, I don't know if you know the name Dan Sullivan from Strategic Coach. We did some really great work with entrepreneurs, and he kind of flips the script and says, do you know that name, Dan Sullivan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's fantastic. And he says, look, rather than saying, oh, I can't find people, he goes, you should be asking yourself, who do I need to become as a CEO and an entrepreneur that people want to come work for me? Like, how do I create that kind of environment? And you bring up a great point about the onboarding process and creating this vision of, hey, here's where you can go. The challenge I see with a lot of business owners is they're so busy. They're like, hey, you can fog a mirror? Okay, great. Here's a spot. Go ahead. Just get, because they're trying to juggle so much. I've got a limited amount of time left, so I'd love to have you back. Sure. I guess I'd like to have you address, because we did get an email about, bringing up Hispanics and Latinos into our community. And there's this sort of rub in our area that some people perceive. I don't. Like I said, I'm learning Spanish. I'm not the smartest, tool in the shed, but I can see what's going on here. And so your take on how can we create a super highway from Mexico, North Dakota?
Well, nationally, we need comprehensive immigration reform. We need secure borders, but at the same time, we need to allow immigrants in that fill our needs economically. We've been doing that for 200 years in America. So there are a lot of things that we have specific needs for. We still do it in the construction fields and in the agricultural fields, but there is a whole lot more demand there. So we need to make people feel comfortable that their communities are welcoming places, but that we're not going to change. You're going to make your community richer by having different voices in it, not that it's going to change your life forever. And so I think it is comprehensive reform at the federal level. It is an understanding of what is a comfortable level of immigration at a local level. And then it's mixed immigration too. It's not just from one country, but it's immigration from a lot of places, so that we still remain the melting pot in America that we've always been and we're designed to be.
Yeah, well said. And I didn't mean to. I love the Hispanic culture and Latino culture.
Chris, you're right. The data suggests that 100 years ago, most immigrants were this way, and lately, most immigrants are from Central America and Mexico, and that's just been the nature of what we've done lately. But in some parts of America, refugees from Eastern Europe are a big part of their refugee culture. In some parts of America, not here, but in some parts, it's mostly Asian countries. So what's the mix that feels right for the Fargo area? And then aggressively go after that mix.
And I think the big thing too, I come from a sports background. You always remember when you were playing on the playground, I'll take him. Like, it needs to be a merit-based immigration system. In my opinion, I don't want to put you in that political conversation, sir, but in my opinion, I think that would add value to everybody. So, Ted, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you being here. I appreciate your time and love to have you back in the future. Okay.
Chris, I appreciate it a lot. Thanks for letting me spend a few days in your beautiful community.
Thank you. God bless. And we'll see you soon. I'm going to be on the same flight as him in a couple of days. So we'll see you then. And let everybody know, Senator. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, get ready for the heat and humidity if you're going to follow me home.
I can't wait. Senator Tom Cotton joins us tomorrow on the show. Going to be a phenomenal conversation with him. Super producer Chris Larson in studio. Great to see you, my friend.
To be here, Chris. Appreciate it.
Muy bien. And we'll see you back here tomorrow at 4 p.m.